Hi ladies, today's organizing tip is about grocery lists. That's right, it's exciting, it's amazing, and rather than write this out, I thought I would share 3 things that have worked for me, and I would love for you to comment about some ideas that work for you because I know you all have great ideas. So today we're going to talk about grocery lists, 3 ideas, and then can't wait to hear yours. Also, as a side note, I want to thank Summer Thomas for sending me a text that got me thinking about a few things that I realize this is the perfect time, Summer, to talk about some of these things. Grocery list is where we're going to start. So, also as a side note, today is my birthday and I've stayed home from work sick all day. I'm feeling better now because I slept basically all night and all day. So I'm starting to feel better, and thanks to inhalers, I can breathe. So anyway, that's a side note. So if you're looking at me and thinking, she looks a little sick. Yeah, I am. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it that I've been sick. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera around to show you these 3 things and see what you think. So first of all, the first thing we used to do, this is my real kitchen counter, by the way. We have so many people that we actually have parking spots for cups. Otherwise, I would find 40,000 cups in the kitchen every day, and we leave our vitamins out to remind us to take them. Anyway, first list idea that we did this for years. And this was to have a clipboard inside one of the main cabinets, and on one side I would have my Costco list, and on the other side would be the grocery store list. And this is totally a mock-up because we don't use this anymore, but we did this for years and years. So I would print out the Costco list and put little boxes on it. This one's handwritten, of course. And I would just separate the groceries by the different sections, non-produce or non-foods, produce, frozen, canned, whatever. And I had them on a 3M hook, put the list on the clipboard. I can't talk. Put the clipboard on 3M hook, and I put Velcro on the back of the clipboard, Velcro spots to keep it from slishing and sloshing every time you open the cabinet door, because sure enough, that's what would happen. And on the other side, we had the grocery list. So you can still see the Velcro from, that's probably 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many years ago. And we had one for groceries, one for Costco. What was great about this list is that the kids could literally come over here if they took out the last ketchup or the last bag of tortillas. You don't wait till it's gone. As soon as you take out the last one, then you put a check mark on that box. And it worked probably 90% of the time. Obviously, it's human error and sometimes things wouldn't get on there. But for the most part, that worked really well for years. Then I would just grab that list, go to Costco, and there you go. I would have it with me. Order the grocery store. That worked really, really well. Then along came the iPad. Before I had a smartphone, and I went with an app called AnyList. And on AnyList, no, we don't want to update. On AnyList, I have choices. You can see all the different stores, all these different lists for different stores. Living an hour away from the nearest city has advantages and disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is that when you go down to the city, you better have your list with you ready to go. So I would do AnyList, and I could print out my list. And again, the idea was that the kids would come and add things. It was really easy to use, and they would put things on the grocery list. Again, it worked really well, but I decided I really didn't want the kids coming and getting on my iPad all the time. So we've gone to our third method, which is, you're not going to believe it, it's the old-fashioned magnetic grocery list on the fridge. You can't beat it. So we have one for Raley's and Target. Raley's is our grocery store, and if we're going down to Fresno, a lot of things are much cheaper at Target. So look at that. You see some people just add to it. And then we have our Costco list, and I've tried to separate it a little bit. So here's the cool thing about this one, and the reason we've switched to it. We switched to the list on the fridge because I'm working full-time again, plus running my 31 business. Awesome. Love running 31 business. But by being back at school full-time, Rob and I have had to, balance some things out. So I do the laundry, our laundry, his and mine, the kids do their own. But I do our laundry, and he goes to Raley's once a week or more to get whatever groceries need to be purchased, and he can just rip that list off. Or sometimes he can take a picture of it with his phone, or I take a picture of it and say, oh, can you go get these things, whatever. So it's really easy. And the Costco list, I'm the Costco person. In exchange for whatever weekend I go to Costco, I exchange my Costco time for not having to cook the whole weekend. So I go to Costco usually on a Thursday night, try to make that happen, pick up Costco, and then for the weekend, somebody else has to cook, not me. So I can just rip this list off of the fridge and I'm ready to go to Costco. Again, the biggest city, the nearest big city is an hour away. So these are things we have to be very intentional about. Thankfully, we have a grocery store just 7 miles down the road. But there you are. 3 different ideas. The grocery list inside the cabinet, so you don't have to stare at it all the time, but you can just rip it off. The app, which is, I also have the app on my iPhone, but I just don't need it as much. It's not so necessary. And the old-fashioned, which is where we are back to, which is working really well for us because there are only 5 of us at home now, not quite so many. Works just dandy to have it up on the fridge. So I would love to hear your ideas for what you do, something brilliant, I'm sure. Mine are very basic, but those are some of the ideas, things that work for me. So can't wait to hear your ideas, and happy organizing. Bye.